Could it be? For me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Card Collector Series podcast. I, of course, am your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoy this content, please do me a huge favor and subscribe to the Card Collector Series for more great content. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And also do me a huge solid and hit the like button. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps this channel grow immensely. So I talk about serious topics here sometimes, but I really like to talk about the lighthearted stuff, things that I can relate to after getting back into the game. I talked about me and the long period of time that I was out of the card collecting space. Now I'm back in, and I'm not that dissimilar from a lot of people that got back in during the pandemic. I missed it and didn't really realize how much I missed it until I actually got back into it. I see it as an investment, also see it as another stream of revenue, but also I enjoy collecting cards, and there are certain ones that are going to go into my PC that I won't look to trade. And, you know, there's just this gratifying energy that I get, this satisfying energy, especially when you hit something big. You know, it's unexpected. You know, sometimes you buy a box and you expect to get something. I think that's been when I've been the most disappointed, is when I buy something, I spend a ton of money and I don't get something. That's more disappointing than when I hit something big in a pack like the one we're going to open up today. Value pack 2021 Donruss Elite NFL pack. We'll open that value pack up later on in the show. Every single show here on the podcast, CCS podcast, we open up a pack of cards at the very end. If you don't care about today's topic, you can feel free to skip to the end of the video where we open this value pack and see what's inside. If I were to find something in one of these value packs that I wasn't expecting and it's a massive hit, it'll be memorable, but I don't know if I will cherish that memory as much as I will feel the pain of spending a ton of money and not getting what I was expecting to get out of it. You know, when you spend $1,000 and you're expecting a massive hit and you don't get one, that's debilitating. Okay. That hurts. Okay. When you spend $7, $8, $9 on a pack of cards and you get something that you weren't expecting, that's cool. But you weren't looking for anything in particular. You just said, hey, it's here. And I told you guys this before. I don't think I've said it on the podcast because it just happened to me recently. Over the weekend, I made it to Walmart. I think I did it on the CCS, one of the episodes, but I didn't actually do it here on the podcast. I was in Walmart, just going to make a quick grocery run. I always, when I go into Walmart now, I always make it a habit to stop past where they stock their cards. And I know when the truck is supposed to come. You know, I'm one of those guys now. Didn't think I would ever be one of those guys, but I don't actually know, you know, how often they come. I just know what day they come on. And anytime I go in there, it doesn't matter. It could be the middle of the week. The last two times I came, they could have no cards, and I know they shouldn't have any cards, but I'll still walk past there anyway just to make sure. And lo and behold, over the weekend, I walk in to this particular Walmart, and they are loaded with cards. I mean, I've never seen this many cards at a Walmart before, and not since I've gotten back into the game. I remember once upon a time when, you know, back in like 2013, when, I don't know, the card collecting space might have been, you know, on its harder times. I would walk past shelves at Target, and specifically Target, because it was right there in your face, and Walmart, and I would see the shelves stacked with cards, and I would just smile and say, I remember those days, and keep it pushing. Now you can't go into a Target. They don't even sell cards. They don't even stock cards in store anymore after the incident that they had. And Walmart, they never have cards as far as I'm concerned. When I go in there, they're never there. But just so happened that I went in there this past weekend and they were loaded. I hit a gold mine and I racked up. I threw just about everything. I didn't even know how much things cost because Walmart does a terrible job of pricing. I didn't care. I just started throwing everything in the cart by the handfuls. And I was like, whatever the total is, whatever the tab is, I'll be willing to pay it, because I guarantee you when I go to price this thing on my local online retailer, and I didn't really know how much they were marking up the price on us. Now I do. So I have a greater appreciation for what it means to hit in a Walmart, to find cards in Walmart, because this same pack right here, not to out any of my local online retailers, but they're not my local online retailers. They're everyone's online retailer. This pack was $8 at Walmart, $7.98, I think. I went online and this same pack is going for like $26, you know, 26 to $20, somewhere in that general vicinity. So they're busting you over the head. A blaster box, I got it from Walmart, $25. They're selling that same blaster box online. I've seen it on two different sites that I purchase off of. One had it for $50, so they doubled the price. The other had it for $60. So they went to about 55, 60% markup. So they are really busting us in the skull, you know, but they have the right to do that. If you can't find it at your local Walmart or Target, this is what you have to do. This is how you have to go about it. This is what you have to pay. So I'm going to make it my business to try to go and find these cards. But enough of that. That's not even what we were supposed to be talking about today. I got sidetracked for a second. So what are your favorite cards to collect? All right. What are your favorite brands specifically? We've talked about sports. I don't want to talk about sports today. I want to talk about specific brands of cards to collect, types of cards. And conversely, what are the worst for you? And what are some alternatives? You know, so I'm one of those guys, I laugh when I hear people say this because I'm exactly like this when it comes to card collecting. I've got champagne taste, but I've got a beer budget. Okay. I want all the high end stuff. I want the national treasure. I want the opulence. You know, I want anything you can think of that is extremely expensive. I want it. I just don't have the money for it. Okay. I try to concoct plans and ways to do it, but there's no way around paying, you know, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a box of national treasures. And that's where you're going to, you want a life-changing card. That's where you're going to get it in something like that. I just don't have the money for it. So you have to find ways to hit it big elsewhere. And I haven't done that quite yet, but I got 4 brands and types of cards that tickle my fancy a little bit more than others. And I'm still relatively new to the game again. Even though I'm back in the game for the second time, I'm kind of still feeling my way through the new cards that are out there. I haven't bought packs of cards, and I need to probably start doing that just to see what I like, what I don't like. I can visually see it, but just like I did with the illusion cards, I visually saw the cards. I didn't see any one of them that were really that pricey in terms of anytime they're giving away cards practically, which they are with the illusions. Then, you know, even if you hit a big card in there, a big, you know, for me in 2019 with the illusions, Zion, even if you hit it big with one of them, it's still not going to net you a whole hell of a lot of money. So just for the purposes of my collection, I would love to have it. But if you're looking to it as an investment, nah, not really, because they're not worth as much. But I still like the way the cards look, so I would purchase them in the future. And, you know, sometimes when you look online, it doesn't do the cards any justice. And if I couple that with the fact that I look up some of the cards, the higher end cards in that set, and they're not going for all that much, I'm like, really not any upside to buying these cards. But sometimes it's not all about how much you can get for a card. Sometimes you just like the way a card looks. So I think there's some more investigating for me to do. There are some more brands that I would love to sink my teeth into and buy. But again, I've got a beer budget, and there are a lot of cards out there that, like, for instance, I would love to get my hands on some NBA Select. I haven't been able to do that yet. It's just a little bit outside of my price range at this current moment. I probably could get my hands on some 2021 Select because they're still, you know, relatively priced. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to pay $1,000 for that. Right? Like, kind of still just slightly out of my reach. I don't know if I want to give up that kind of bread. I don't have that kind of money right now with things that I'm trying to do. I don't have that kind of money to just give up. There's some other brands out there that are big time that I would love to try, but again, I don't necessarily have the bread for it right now. So, um, but four in particular that I have had a chance to open up packs of and boxes of, and really find myself taking a strong liking to them. So obviously, Panini Prism, that's one of the premier brands of cards out there right now. Generally speaking, if you find a rookie card in that set in particular in any sport, that's the one that's going to be worth the most. If you can get a silver in one of those, or a shimmering prism or something like that, or rare gold wave or something like that, if you get an Asia box, that's when you'll hit it big in any of these sports, really. So Prism, they're just beautiful cards in general, especially when you get a nice looking Prism. Then there's Optic. I love Optic. Um, I love the Chrome Optic Chrome cards, and I just love the brand itself. I want more Optic cards, and you know, to be honest with you, that's the brand that I don't think I've hit it big enough on. Like Ja and Zion, I don't think I have any real big hits of Ja or Zion in 2019 from Optic, and I'd like to get a hobby box from that year, but it's probably through the roof now. But I'd like to go back and find one because there are also some inserts in Optic that are really nice. So I think I'd like to go back and do that again. But I love football Optic cards too. I just love Optic in general. So those are two that are affordable, but they can get pretty high and pricey. You know, the longer you let them sit there, the value on those only go up and up and up. They don't come down. So those are two that every year I'd like to get a hobby box of, just to see if I could hit it big with some of their inserts too, because it's rare that you get a brand of cards where their inserts also are highly coveted and sought after. But in Prism and Optic, every year they've got some big time inserts that you should be looking for that are rare. Then they also are really nice looking cards. And then the two of the, as I like to call them, premium buys, or I call them targeted buys, where you get, you know, five or six or seven cards in the box. Um, I'm a huge fan of Obsidian. I just love their cards. I love the way they look. I love the way they feel. I love the dark, you know, nature of their cards. They have a black background, and then you kind of go from there. So you've seen me open multiple boxes of Obsidian, once in football, once in basketball. So I just love Obsidian. And then I really have taken a strong liking to the encased boxes that come with an already slabbed graded card. You've seen me do that in both basketball and football as well. Got the John Morant rookie auto SIG, and then I got the Jerry Jeudy in the NFL rookie auto SIG. So I like the encased cards and the way they look as well. And so um, there are going to be some more cards that I open here, you know, moving forward, that are going to be different for me, that I've never opened before. So maybe those will be added to the list. But in the short period of time I've been back in the game, those are the four that jump out at me right now that I absolutely love. They're my favorite. What are yours? What are your favorite type of cards to open? What are the ones you just are never disappointed by with the way they look, feel, and anything else you can think of? As far as my worst cards, the ones that I don't go near, and maybe I need to reconsider this, but I don't think I ever will. NBA hoops, they're the worst. To me, they're the bottom of the barrel. They're the pits, and they were the first time around when I was a collector, when I was a kid. NBA hoops, you couldn't get any worse than that. They were cheap. Um, it's like the wild Irish rose of card collecting. You catch a wino out on the street, he's probably gone to 7-Eleven and bought some wild Irish rose. He reeks of it. That's how I feel about NBA hoops. Now, they might have switched the game up a bit, and I've heard people say they like their inserts better than the Donruss inserts. That's fine, but I'm not an NBA hoops guy. Their cards are cheap. You can find them at the Dollar Tree. Like that shouldn't be a reason not to buy them, but it just hammers home the point that that's what they are. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of NBA hoops. Never have been, never will be. I think the cards aren't all that good looking, and I just don't care for them. So that's the one for me that I can't get behind NBA hoops. And then an alternate. So I told you I've got a beer budget, even though I've got champagne taste. You also know I'm not a big fan of contenders, but it's not because the cards aren't attractive cards. It's just because I just don't have any luck with it. But I don't hate those cards, and I'll buy more. And I know I said I wasn't going to buy any more contenders, but I am. Okay. Wink, wink. Okay, that's a hint that there are some contenders coming down the pipeline eventually. So stay tuned for that. But in any event, to me, a great alternative for the higher priced cards are Donruss cards. And remember, I told you guys I just fell in love with Donruss cards. I didn't know what to expect. I had been running from them for a while. And then I finally said, well, let me just try it. Let me just see what this is all about. And I was blown away by the quality. I was blown away by the options, the amount of options that they present, especially in the NBA. You get a bunch of options from Donruss in the NBA, not so many in the NFL. You've got choice in the NBA. You've got the clear in the NBA, the clearly. Like there's so many options in the NBA of Donruss cards, whereas in the NFL, not so many. You get the hobby box, and they'll give you a plethora of blaster boxes and things of that nature, mega box here or there, but you don't have the different, as I like to call, targeted buys, whereas you do in the NBA. That said, I enjoy the Donruss cards a lot, and they're not very expensive. I bought an NFL Donruss hobby box for like $400. I think it was like three something. Like that's a great buy, to be able to get an entire hobby box for, was it three something? I feel like it was like $400 pretty much. And to be able to get an entire hobby box, get in there and get some hits, that's pretty cool. It's not often that you can do that with a hobby box that actually that could potentially have some heat in it for that price point. So I find the Donruss cards to be a great alternative to the big boys if you're looking for some cards that could give you some real bang for your buck, but also not hurt you in the wallet department, not hurt you in your pockets, because there's a lot of cards out here that especially Prism, Panini Prism, if you buy like a value pack or, one of the red, white, and blue packs, you could, find yourself getting a hit or two. But a lot of times when you get one of those multi-packs with the 15 cards in it and the three guarantees of, red, white, and blue or whatever, you're not gonna hit anything major in one of those a lot of times. In order to hit something big, you could get something out of a blaster box. I've had some success in blaster boxes with Prism, but you're gonna have to go through a lot of them. It's rare that you're just gonna buy one blaster box and come out. You could get lucky. That's the thing with card collecting. That's the thing that I love about the hunt. Yeah, you could go hunting for six different blaster boxes, get nothing. Quit the blaster boxes altogether, come back 5 months later, buy one blaster box, and voila, there it is. Or you could go with 5 different blaster boxes, go through the first 4, get nothing, and then that 5th blaster box, there it is. But with Prism, to me, if you really want to hit it big, you need a hobby box. You need a hobby box of some sort. And you might get lucky in a mega box, but you need a hobby box, and those are really expensive. Those can get up there quickly. So, I think Donruss gives you a nice little alternative to the big boys, and still give you, I think, a solid bang for your buck. Speaking of which, here's some Donruss right here for you, and I really have taken a strong liking to the Elite brand, and so here we go. We're gonna jump into this 30 card value pack from 2021. See if we can maybe hit a rookie or two. I still haven't hit any of the big quarterbacks in this, but I've hit some rookie quarterbacks in some of the packs that I've opened, including a Trevor Lawrence. I've already gotten a Zach Wilson rookie. It's not a looker. The Trevor Lawrence hit is, however, a nice card. It's a postcard. I got it out of one of the prestige packs just like this. So I'm really hopeful that I'll hit something in this elite. I've had some really good success. I've gotten 2 Tom Brady spellbound letters. I've done some really good work with these elite cards, hoping that that trend continues here. Let's see what we have in this pack. So look for exclusive pink parallels. So that's what we should be looking for in here. We'll see if we find anything of note. So we start out with a Dak Prescott base. Juju Smith-Schuster base. Stephon Gilmore base. John Elway, legend of the game, base. Devin White, Super Bowl champion. It might be the best linebacker in football, base. Aaron Donald, base. Lamar Jackson, Action Jackson, base. Joe Mixon, hopefully he stays healthy this year, base. Tom Brady, to throwback to his New England days, base. Barry Sanders, I have one of these already, but I think I'm going to keep this one too. You know that's my guy. A.J. Brown, base. Thanks for coming. Jalen Ramsey, base. Thanks for coming. Larry Fitzgerald, I was really sold that he would be back. I think he's done, though. I really do think he's done. It's crazy. Saquon Barkley, base. Got a Peyton Manning pink spellbound. So got a pink parallel spellbound Peyton Manning. So we'll throw that in the sleeve real quick. So Peyton Manning, spellbound, pink eye. All right. Keep the party going. Amon-Ra St. Brown rookie card, pink parallel. Nice. I think he's actually going to be really good for the Detroit Lions. So we'll throw that one in a sleeve as well. Would have preferred it to have been a quarterback, but beggars can't be choosers. We've already established that. So I think that's going to be all of the pink parallels that we'll get in here. I lied. Devin White. Looks like they're going to give us quite a few of these. We'll put that one in a sleeve too, because I just think he's a hell of a football player, first and foremost. So throw that in the sleeve. All right. Quinnen Williams, base. Thanks for coming. Aaron Jones, base. Thanks for coming. Mike Gesicki, I think this guy's going to be outstanding. He is really starting to figure it out in Miami. We'll see if he takes that next step this year. I think he will, honestly speaking. Joe Burrow, year 2. Joe Burrow, base, thanks for coming. George Kittle, finally healthy. He wasn't really healthy last year. Played in his first preseason game over the weekend in 2 years, so that lets you know he's finally healthy. Jared Goff, Detroit Lions, big offseason trade with the Lions and the Rams. Derrick Henry, remember I hit this in a parallel of like 300, a number to like 300 in the hobby box. Jamal Adams finally got his money in Seattle. Got a big deal. Aaron Rodgers, back with the Packers. Never thought he would play anywhere else this offseason. Joe Montana, legend of the game. Base, thanks for coming. Patrick Mahomes. And Nick Bosa. And Brandon Cooks to finish out the pack. So, not bad. Not bad at all. We ended up with 3 pinks, pink parallels. Before it's all said and done, insert of Peyton Manning, Spellbound. A pink parallel, Amon-Ra St. Brown, rookie. And a pink parallel, Devin White. Nice. So that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. I thank you guys for joining me here on the Card Collector Series podcast. This is probably a little bit longer of an episode than you're accustomed to, but you know, sometimes I start getting diarrhea of the mouth. I start talking about things that are really interesting to me, and I just go off on a tangent sometimes. I apologize for that, but I don't apologize for talking about things that bring me enjoyment. Hopefully they bring you enjoyment as well. If you enjoy this content, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button for more great content here on the Card Collector Series. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and hit the like button, as that helps this channel grow exponentially. Until next time, I'm your man Louie T, telling you it's hunting season. It never ends, especially here on the Card Collector Series. Until next time, you guys have a good one.
LouieTeeNetwork.